the changing context for human resource management. We will not talk about during the whole course for traditional human resource management. We will talk about its implications, or, in other words, the strategic human resource management. So, the changing context for HRM, the global labor market. What is in it? We will see that. But before we go through the module, first let's look at the learning objectives. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain recent global labor market trends. We saying global labor market. Understand changes in the nature of the workforce and critically evaluate its implications for strategic human resource management. The third learning objective from this chapter is understand the changing nature of work and critically evaluate its implications for strategic human resource management. Let me clarify the learning objective 2 and learning objective 3 again. They look very similar, but they are totally different. For example, in the learning objective 2, we are talking about understand changes in the nature of workforce. When we talk about workforce, I hope you understand that we are talking about employees of an organization. When we talk about understand the changing nature of work, we are talking about work itself performed by employees. So it's a work and workforce. I mean employees and the job. The fourth learning objective is to discuss how HR managers might develop strategies to consider the implications of these changes in the global labor market. So, according to this situation or according to these learning objectives, what concepts we will discuss in this module? We will discuss in this module contextual factors which have implications for strategic human resource management. When we talk about the contextual factors, actually we are talking about external factors and internal organizational factors which create a context or business context for an organization. What changes in the contextual factors have serious implications for strategic human resource management? Then we will talk about population and demographic trends. Changes in attitudes and behaviors. When we talk about attitudes and behaviors, these two words are used interchangeably, but they are different. When we talk about attitude, actually we are talking about something which is invisible. You can't see attitude of employees or any person. Attitude means what are your preferences, what you like or what you dislike, what you prefer in your life. This is your attitude. And what you like and what you dislike, it is hard to see. Behaviors, on the other hand, is your actions. What people will see, your actions. What people cannot see is your intent. So employees have attitude and employees have behaviors. So in this chapter, we will talk about the changes in attitude and behaviors of employees towards work or towards the organization. Fourth, we will talk about the concept of flexibility. And fifth, we will talk about trend towards greater individualism. This is part of attitudes and behaviors. Let's look from the beginning of this subject. We will talk about the global labor market. That is the main focus. If you look at the global labor market, this slide shows some important informations. For example, if you look at this slide, you will find that top 10 most populous countries. This data was gathered from www.census.government, and this shows from the July 1st, 2019, how much is the population of the top 10 countries, or what are those top 10 countries, in other words. As you people know, I hope that China is the most populous country as of today. And the second is India. They are very close, 1389. So 1.39 billion people, almost 1.39 billion people lives in China. whereas in India it's a 1.31. So if you look on the other side in the pie chart, you will find that China is the most populous country and it shows the population by percentage. That is 32% population of China accounts for the whole world population. Whereas India accounts for almost 30% of the world whole population. Look at the rest of the countries, and we will find that Pakistan is almost 5% population as of July 1st, 2019. That is almost 210 million, which is 5% of the world total population. Similarly, Bangladesh is close to us, Indonesia is 1% ahead than us, and United States is 7% of the world total population. Why we are talking about this, we will talk about when we will consider the implications of global labor market for strategic human resource management. First, we will talk about some facts and figures. This is a very similar slide, but it has some forecast on your right hand side if you are looking towards the screen. The same population as of July 2019, but if you look on the right hand side, you will find that what is the forecast by 2050? What is going to happen after 30 years? So China is lowering down its population or has planned to reduce its population. It doesn't mean that they are going to kill somebody. It means that they are trying to control their birth rate and they are trying to control their population by other methods. So China would be 25% and India would be the number one populous country in the world, accounts for 33% after 30 years. We will not talk about rest of the countries. You can look at these slides when you have a time. And the last thing is, if you look on this, these numbers are in millions as shown in the vertical axis. So forecast of top 10 most populous countries by 2050. So this is very similar to what we talked in the last slide. It shows that China is going to reduce its population, India is going to increase its population, United States population will be increased, Indonesia population will be slightly increased. So almost every country population by 2050 will be slightly increased. However, China is the only country which is going to reduce its population by 2050. Thank you.